Hey guys. So today I'm going to be talking about brands I would like to try in 2020. Um, there's a few companies that are on my radar or brands, and let's just dive right into it because it's kind of self-explanatory at what I'm talking about. Okay, the first brand that I would like to try, technically I've already tried them, but it's such a small thing that I bought that I still feel like I haven't really tried them. What am I talking about? Juvia's Place. I have the Nubian Mini, but as you can probably tell by all my recent videos, I'm really into bright colors right now. And so this palette is not really what I'm into, but Juvia's Place has tons of palettes that are all very brightly colored. As a matter of fact, I've been looking at them every time I go to Ulta, and most of their stuff is always out of stock. There's just nothing in that slot except for the test palette. And what they do have on the shelf has usually been tampered with, so usually there just isn't anything to buy. But one of these days I'm going to walk in there and they will have stocked it, and then I want to be ready. I want to know what to get. There's quite a few things that really appeal to me. So yeah, I have this, so technically I have tried them, but yeah, I want to get something. And most likely an eyeshadow palette, but they have blush palettes too. And there's one that is really pretty. The thing with blush palettes is I feel like I'm never going to use every single palette, every single blush in the palette, so it seems like kind of a waste to get a blush palette, but I don't know, there's one that's really, really pretty. So what else have we got on the list here? Dose of Colors. I've heard such good things about their liquid lipsticks. Actually, I've heard good things about their eyeshadow palettes too, but I think what I really want to try from them are the liquid lipsticks, because there have been many videos that I've watched where when people were talking about their very favorite formulas of liquid lipsticks, that is a brand that people always seem to mention. The only thing that has held me back is trying to find the exact right color, because when I was looking through, I didn't really see one that was like my kind of color. Like, I have a certain shade that I really like to wear, so I didn't see one that looked exactly like what I was looking for, but I probably need to go to that section at Ulta and really look at all the colors and maybe, do some tester swatches on my hand or something, because that would be helpful. I haven't done that yet. The next thing I have written down is BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics puts out a lot of eyeshadow palettes that would appear to be right up my alley. The style, the design, the color scheme, everything. But I'm kind of like hesitant about trying that brand because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on them. Some people really do seem to like them, and some people feel as if they're hit and miss, and some people don't like them. So yeah, I get a lot of mixed feedback, and I am not somebody that likes to return anything, so I don't want to be put into that situation where I buy something and I don't like it. So I should probably pay attention to like the reviews for their products to see what gets rated more highly than others. And by the way, if any brand that I mentioned today in this video, if you have an experience with it where you have a certain product that you really like, feel free to leave me recommendations down in the comment section. Okay, what else have we got here? I've got some high-end brands written down, and when I say high-end, I mean luxury brands, but I don't know what the likelihood is that I would actually buy them, because you know, I only have X amount of money to spend, and lately my expenses have been way higher than normal. I just got 4 new tires on my car, and I just got new glasses. I wear glasses when I'm not filming, and just those two things alone were $1,200. So I don't know how much makeup I'll be buying in the near future. But I have some luxury brands written down here. I've got Charlotte Tilbury written down. That is a brand that I've always been curious about. I've always really wanted to try her lipsticks and lip liners because I don't know, there's just something about the bullet lipsticks and the lip liners that whenever I see them in other people's videos and I see them on, they just look so beautiful on that yeah, I really would like to try that. And I've got Kevyn Aucoin written down too. Now that's a brand that is not carried at very many places at all, and it would be pretty hard for me to find a store that had a Kevyn Aucoin section with testers that I could look at. But some of his products just look so beautiful. They seem like they kind of remind me the things that I'm talking about of like the things that I bought recently from Natasha Denona, where it's like very finely milled and just like glittery, but like a finely milled glitter. And I like that aesthetic. I don't like things that are too like chunky glitter or glitter that has a lot of fallout. They just seem like they know how to make those products and make them beautiful without going all over the place. Okay, I was just talking recently in my video that I did about my new releases, about where I was discussing new releases, and I had said that I didn't think I would be buying anything in the future from Pat McGrath because of the price point, but this is kind of almost like a fantasy wish list. Like if money magically appeared from the sky, what would I want to try? That's the way this video kind of is. But I have Pat McGrath written down because the only thing I have from her is one single matte eyeshadow. And since I made that purchase, I have heard that the standout eyeshadows from her are not the mattes, it's the shimmers. So in retrospect, I wish that if I was going to have done something like that, I had bought a shimmery single eyeshadow instead of a matte one. So, you know, the palettes I think are pretty much out of the question because of the price point. And I know she has smaller palettes too, but even those are crazy expensive. So, I don't know, maybe at some point I'll just get like one single shimmer eyeshadow. And with the lip products, I've heard too many mixed reviews on the lip products, I think, to bite the bullet on that one. Yeah, I've heard that there's some inconsistencies across the different YouTubers that I watch about the lip products, so I don't think I would do that. All right, let's get away from that luxury category right now and jump into some other things. I have Ace Beauté written down. There's a couple of eyeshadow palettes in their line that look like I think I would really enjoy them. And there's one YouTuber that I watch that's her favorite brand of eyeshadow, and I love all the looks that she creates. So I think that makes me really, when somebody says that a certain eyeshadow brand is their favorite, that really makes me curious about it. And like I said, there's 2 palettes. One of them is called, I think it's called Oceanic. It's all blues and greens. If you're familiar with that brand, then I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about. I think it was called Oceanic. But yeah, it's all blues and greens, and blue and green eyeshadows are probably my favorite eyeshadow colors. So yeah, I think I would like to try that. But then the Flare palette is like a mixture of neutrals and pops of color, and something about the combination of colors that they used in that one I think is really pretty too. And that palette has been on a lot of people's lists of like top 10 palettes of 2019, so I'm kind of interested in that one too. Another brand that I'm interested in is Nomad Cosmetics, and I saw a palette on a couple of people's videos. It's the Tokyo Harajuku palette, and oh, it looked so beautiful because it was very unique in the sense that you don't see a lot of palettes that have a lot of lighter shades to them. And this was very much like, it was pastels, but pastels done in sort of a different way. Some of the colors looked very special, and the artwork on the palette was just adorable. And the only thing stopping me from getting that palette is it's kind of on the large side, and I've really gotten away from buying a lot of bigger palettes because I only have so much room for storage. And well, I have all that. I have the IKEA unit there, and then I have all those Sterlite containers, and then I put a bunch of things. I put a bunch of things on that. Ugh, there we go. On that shelf unit there on display, so I can put some things over there. But some of the shelves I need to use for more functional things, like say I have a clock there and a lamp, and there's some other things that you probably can't see. But yeah, I only have so much room, and this palette that I'm talking about, it's kind of a big palette, and yeah, I'm trying not to buy those, but I really want it. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm really, really into the miniature size of things lately. I've talked about this a lot recently, and it just makes it so much easier because miniature size versions of things, they're a great way to try brands that you've never tried before, and also that way I feel like I can get more things if I'm paying less for each thing. But yeah, it's a really, really pretty palette. So Nomad Cosmetics Tokyo Harajuku is what it's called. Really pretty. And then Makeup Geek is going to be doing a rebranding. I think it's next week that she's going to be launching like the new site and the new products and all that. And even though I've tried her before and owned a lot of her eyeshadows, there are tons of products from her that I have never tried. And where everything is going to be redone, rebranded, it'll be like trying the brand again for the first time. When a company does a rebranding, it's almost like it's a new brand. So I definitely want to check out and see what she's going to have available. Yeah, because there's a lot of categories from her that I've never even tried. All I've ever tried is the eyeshadows. And what else do I have written down here? I have KKW written down. I've never tried anything from her, and her aesthetic is very like nude tones and natural, and everything kind of looks the same. But the reason why I want to try her is because the texture of the products, whenever I see swatches and things like that, everything just looks so beautiful. Because makeup isn't just about like color. I mean, that's a big part of it for me. But if I see something on swatches or just on somebody's face and the texture of it looks nice, that can be a big draw factor for me. I don't know if you guys remember this, but many years ago, Kim Kardashian and Khloe and Kourtney had a brand together. And what was it called? Chroma Beauty. And there was a palette in that line when it first launched. That was one of my favorite palettes of all time. the texture, the colors. This was a long, long time ago, so the name of the palette escapes me at the moment, but I did a video about it. So if you just type in Chroma Beauty and do a search on my channel page, you'll probably find it. It was KHROMA. And what ended up happening was there was another company that already had used that name. And so I think they had to just get rid of the brand altogether and rename it because of copyright issues or something, or licensing agreements. And anyways, there was a palette in that line that was just, oh my God, I loved it so much. I remember when it was like time to declutter it because of its age. I really didn't want to get rid of it because it was, the texture of the eyeshadows was so beautiful, and all the colors in the palette just worked so nice together. And I keep thinking that if I were to go on the KKW Beauty website, I'll bet you I would find something similar to that, because I just feel like that might have been like Kim's vibe as to why that palette was developed, because there were other palettes by that brand that the quality was not good. I did like a review of the brand when it first came out, and that one palette that I'm raving about was really the only good palette. The other ones had a completely different texture to them. It was like, so I have a feeling that all three sisters were trying to put in the input. But anyways, I have a feeling that it was Kim that probably put together that one that I liked. So I think I need to check out her website and take a hard look at her eyeshadow palettes, because I bet I could find something similar to that one that I'm raving about. Okay, what else? I was talking in my video yesterday when I was talking about the future of makeup, about Kim's makeup artist, Mario, coming out with his own line of makeup. Definitely would like to check that out if that ends up happening, and it definitely should be happening in 2020, because this has been in the works for a long time. So I would like to try that, and I feel like I'm leaving something out that's not written on my paper. I know what it was that I was trying to remember. There is a brand that I own two things from that brand, but never tried the eyeshadows, and I'm all about eyeshadows. That's my favorite thing. I've never tried Natasha Denona eyeshadows. Her palettes are crazy expensive, the big ones, but she's got all those mini palettes, and I keep looking at those whenever I go to Sephora, and most of them are basically like neutral colors or really warm colors, or just not really into that right now. And there is a palette called Tropic something or other, and it's got blues and greens in it, but I guess that's an older mini palette that isn't really in the stores anymore, and it didn't get good reviews anyway. Um, so I don't know. That's the thing with Natasha Denona, though, is I've noticed that the consistency from product to product. I mean, some people put her products, like when they do a best and worst video, and they'll have one of her palettes will be like in their absolute favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time, but then they'll do a review of another palette and saying it's one of the worst ones. So it's hard to buy from brands like that, because you don't want to get into a situation where, you know, you would have to return it or whatever, because I hate returning things. I really do. It just makes me feel very uncomfortable. And I know it shouldn't, because I spent the money and I don't like it. And if the return policy is that you can bring something back, then why not? But I guess I'm hoping that sometime in 2020 that she will release a mini palette, because that's more in my price range. I'm hoping that in 2020 she'll release a mini palette that doesn't get bad reviews, is a color story that I will like, and that way I can try her eyeshadow formula. I don't know. I heard somebody say one time that there's like a certain technique that you have to use when you use her eyeshadows, which is kind of strange. I mean, I understand that in a way, but in a way, I think that's kind of weird. But I guess I know what they mean because I have experienced things like that before, where I've played around with something thinking that it was garbage and then just like maybe used a different brush or applied it a certain way and then had things work better. So yeah, there are some formulas I guess that are like that, but it makes it tough for people who've never tried a brand before. But that's what YouTube is for, right? It's educational, and if you watch the videos, then you'll find all these things out. So what are some brands that you want to try in 2020? There are more, but I just can't think of them because I guess I didn't write them down. But yeah, there's so many things I would love to try, but I also would like to continue to buy from the brands that I already love. So money doesn't grow on trees, so I probably won't be able to try all those things that I just talked about, but I would like to at least try some of them. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks so much for watching.